Okay, you want to do question answer or you want me to?
Can you tell us more about the gag order that you're asking for? What does it entail?
Okay, the gag order was primarily aimed at stopping anyone at all making statements, and then the statement get published in the media, which are unfair. For instance, even before the trials have started, there are people who make comments like Datuk Sri Najib is 100% guilty. They have never seen a bigger fraud case than this, and so on and so on. So, as you know, our constitution guarantees, just like most other civilized countries, we have got a constitution that guarantees fair trial. One of the fundamental of fair trial is that you cannot discuss, public cannot issue statements that comments upon the merits of the case in a prejudicial way. But if you are reporting a court proceeding, for instance, when the trial starts, or today, you're going to report about what transpired in court very clinically, there's nothing wrong with it, because you're not commenting on the merits, making comments about whether or not Datuk Sri Najib is a person who pretends that he doesn't have money, things like that you cannot do, because that will be prejudicial and it's against fair trial concept. So the gag order is to stop anyone making comments like that pertaining to the merits of the 4 charges and getting it published in any media. That was the idea.
Are you confident that Mr. Najib will be able to clear his name? He said he maintained his innocence. Are you confident that you will be able to clear his name? Will he be given a fair trial?
Without going into the merits, because the gag order is my application, I can tell you in a general way what we have as a team examined. We are happy with the case of the defense. We are very happy. So in short, I'm saying that we are confident that we've got a good defense. I can't go beyond that. Yeah, but you will see the unfolding of the defense when the trial starts. Right? Oh, the gag order is just to ensure nobody make unfair comments about the merits of the case in order to get it published by the media.
Does it apply to social media,
Well,
sir?
for instance, to say he is guilty or innocent, without the trial having even unfolded. That's basically making a prejudgment of the case, in other words.
Does the gag order apply to social media comments as well?
All. To all kind of media, whether traditional or digital or social media, it will be applicable. Yeah.
Jadi manakah akan lebih banyak IP datang, akan lebih banyak IP akan dikemukakan pihak tan sudah bersedia ke untuk menghadapi lebih banyak anticipate more charges?
Well, you see, there are only 2 matters. Ada 2 perkara. Satu perkara 1MDB, lagi satu perkara SRC. 2 aja. Today we got SRC. But the bigger matter was 1MDB. So I will leave it to your imagination why 1MDB they are not charged. Okay, why SRC?
Sorry, but the gag order is only SRC.
Yes, that's a good point. Because the gag order is about today's proceeding.
What happens if the gag order is breached?
Yeah. The gag order is basically for the media not to print. Doesn't matter who spoke about it. It can be the chairman of MACC, it can be the commissioner of MACC, it could be the minister of finance, it could be Datuk Sri Najib himself. If he keeps on saying he's innocent because of this, because of that, he too is prohibited. So that let the court decide.
But the next the gag order is only until CM kan, the next CM 8
Yeah,
August.
because it is an interim. The next CM, we have a full-blown argument whether or not the gag order should be given in its finality. Okay?
Essentially, if it is violated, then what will happen? Is it a contempt of court?
It will be a contempt of court.
Are you seeking to disqualify Tommy Thomas from proceeding?
We are thinking very seriously about it.
What is the reason?
Well, we have mentioned a little bit, but in short, I think he has made a prejudgment. even before becoming the Attorney General.
Are you concerned that your client will not be able to be given a fair trial? Are you concerned by the conduct of the case so far? Will your client be given a fair trial?
Okay, thus far, from what I've seen, including even from the proceeding yesterday and today in court, thus far I'm quite happy that it seems to be in accordance with law. I hope during the trial everything goes as expected, namely in accordance with fair trial principle. My client is not worried about the trial, not worried about the defense, providing that he's given a fair shake at the trial, which we are sure, looking at the judge today, the way the judge behaved in his decorum, and we are quite sure that it's going to be a fair trial.
Do you know, did the prosecution indicate to you regards to one MTB? When are the other charges?
No, no indication.
No indication?
No indication whatsoever.
Is February 8th like a pretty long time before trial starts, like a long gap before trial actually starts? Is that
You mean this case?
For this particular case, is that normal given that the nature of this case and the personality involved? I mean,
Well, normally it is us who ask for the delay because we are taken by surprise. But you will note, it is a prosecution who asked for delay of 1 month for a mere mention. And as I've said, and I'm very serious about this, you will not realize the seriousness of what I said this morning until you become an accused person. If you are an accused person or your loved one become an accused person, you will suddenly remember me and say, well, Tan Sri Shafiq said the right thing, because it hits you right in the nose. If you don't have documents given to you to see the detailed allegation, how are you going to defend yourself? In civil proceeding, you exchange pleadings, you exchange documents. For months and months, you exchange, you do interrogation, you do discovery, all that. Why? Because you want to know what is the other's case, and the other want to know what is your case. So everything is thrashed out. Can you imagine? That is civil, just pure money judgment. But when your life is at stake, you can be hanged, you can be sent to 20 years imprisonment, you can be sent to 10 years imprisonment. The Attorney General today said, well, there is a provision 51A. We are only supposed to give you before the trial. But he doesn't understand, before the trial means reasonably before the trial. But the Interpretation Act says, whenever time is not given, you act as speedily as possible. Not, in 1 week's trial, you give it to me. What am I going to do? Well, I have to ask for adjournment. So, I told you today this morning, when I went to Brisbane defending Tan Sri Muhammad Taib, it is a country we all were scared because we thought is anti-Asian. They call it a redneck country. It is not. When I went there, when Muhammad Taib was charged, the very day he was charged, the DPP came with the IO and gave me a stack of this much paper and said, this is the paper that we have got to introduce and we will prove the case through this. On the same day. Now, when they charged my client today, you would have thought, you must be ready. After all, Tan Sri Gani Patel and his gang said, well, we were ready in 2015 July. If you're ready in 2015 July, how come you're not ready today? And why did it take so long to charge? So it tells you something else, that the attempt to so-called charge him in 2015 was a little suspicious, if it is true. If it is true that there was an attempt to charge him. Okay?
Thank you. Would you say the prosecution then might potentially be hostile? Like the prosecution, based on what you said, you say that they could potentially be hostile towards your client?
Well, they can be hostile, but I do not expect them to be unfair. Because, lawyers have got a certain amount of arrogance, namely, intellectually we are arrogant. We do not want people to think we are unfair. So I hope that parameter will exist. Somehow, fairness will prevail. Okay? Thank you. All right. Yes.
Just one more question.
I mean, the bar contract one MDB task force has no legal standing to issue statements. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, this is one occasion I 100% agree with the Bar Council.
Do you think it's some sort of malicious
No, I don't know what the task force is doing. There is no such thing as a task force that should advise the Attorney General. The Attorney General under Article 1453 has got his sole discretion. Nobody can even question him. Not even the court can question his discretion. But now it looks as though, from what the Bar Council has been saying, the Attorney General is being dictated by a task force of 4 men. That's not constitutional. That's in fact totally illegal. And I am disturbed by it. I'm very disturbed by it. And the constituent of the 4 members, there are people in the previous regime that have done investigation, people in the previous regime that was the Attorney General, people like that who are already in some way or other tainted somewhat. Okay? I'm not saying tainted in a bad way, but they are tainted and they may have a prejudgment. So why are these people in the task force supervising the Attorney General? I've never seen this before.
previous regime? Are you referring to the Najib's administration?
Well, during Najib's administration, I remember Ghani Patil set up a task force. And I remember an opinion being given to the Attorney General, to the Prime Minister, that a task force set up without the sanction of the Cabinet is illegal. Because under 1452, tadi I kata 3 kan, 1452, any special task to be given to the Attorney General must be given either by the Prime Minister or the Cabinet through another minister. So it has got to be sanctioned by a member of the government. That task force was not sanctioned.
Okay. There were reports saying that you received payment from one MDBC. Do you think this will get you disqualified?
Well, they can try. All I say is they can try. I'm not going to tell the detail to make their job a lot easier. Okay, but they're going to. If they do try, they'll get some shock.
Okay,
Correct?
thank you.
Okay.